I'm sorry. I'm honestly sorry because I'm sorry for crypto, really, in general. I just interviewed Ben Cowan, and I think it's quite possibly one of the best interviews regarding overall market analysis of crypto that you will ever find. And the video is going to be uploaded within maximum 24 to 48 hours. And when it is, you have to watch it. Like there is no option. You have to watch it. So make sure you're subscribed and you destroy the like button on this specific video. But I'm sorry because you're gonna see in the video too, like the sentiment is quite terrible. And I know Bitcoin has been in extreme fear multiple times. We've been at the 54 simple moving average multiple times. We're currently drifting just at that 54 simple moving average. So if you look at the screen, you can see that we're exactly at this 54 simple. And we're trying to hold on for dear life. But it just feels more bearish this time compared to other times we were trading at the 54 simple moving average. Like in April of this year when we came down to 74, that was the 54 simple. And then in August of 2024, Japanese yen carry trade, 49K, again, 54 simple. This time it feels more bearish because when you look at the Bitcoin cycles, you only have 2 months left. So if you're going to produce a high, another all-time high, it has to happen within this next sort of month to December. And what Benjamin Cohen's sentiments and his analysis pointed towards was that even if you do create another high, it's likely going to be it's not going to be like a parabolic all-time high on Bitcoin. It's going to be a smaller high. And he's actually looking at, the altcoin market too in that video. And unless Bitcoin, in his opinion, goes to like $200,000 to 300K, we're not going to see altcoin season at all in the scale that we've seen in the past two cycles. It's like we break it down. I mean, Benjamin Cohen breaks it down unbelievably well, but the overall feel is it's not looking good. But we're still hopeful. There's still hopium on the charts. There's still hopium for Bitcoin investors. Altcoin investors, Ben still believes that we can see a 30% bleed on altcoins going into the end of QT, which is December the 1st. So he thinks that altcoins will see a 30% bleed to Bitcoin, to their Bitcoin pairs over the next month. And he says that the most logical thing to do would be to be a Bitcoin holder at the moment. So I'm going to skip altcoins. But for Bitcoin, there's a little bit of hopium. And the hopium would mean, would arrive at a much greater scale if we can hold this 54 simple moving average, which currently translates to 101.7. And if you look at the 50 simple, then $103,000. The week closes in 3 days in 5 hours time. And if Bitcoin is consecutively closing, he mentioned, 2 or 3 weekly candles below the 103 or 101.7 level, then essentially it's over. And it would mean that Bitcoin would drop to the 69 to lower 70 regions. That's scenario number one. Or scenario number two is that you just basically consolidate around the 100K territory until the end of next year or towards Q3 of next year. Regardless, though, it's quite bearish. It's bearish. It's not nice because it's not what everybody was hoping for. If you were a Bitcoin investor this cycle and only a Bitcoin investor and you were buying since the bottom, then it's amazing because you would have made an 8x from the bear market lows. But the issue is 95% of crypto holders don't own any Bitcoin. They own only altcoins. So we can do like a quick experiment here. Put in the comments down below in this video if you are, so put one in the chats in the comment section if you only hold altcoins or hold altcoins as a greater majority than your Bitcoin holdings. And put 2 in the chat if your Bitcoin holdings are greater than your altcoin holdings or if you just hold Bitcoin. And we'll assess, in the next videos, how many ones there are comparative to twos. And I can bet that there will be many more ones compared to twos. So if you're a Bitcoin investor, you would be very happy. You would be very happy. And it's okay if you're a Bitcoin investor, if you bought in at the 20Ks or the 15Ks or even the 30Ks to take profits at 100K. Like, it's not an issue. It's a sensible thing. But if you faded Bitcoin completely and you only recently bought Bitcoin, or you completely faded Bitcoin and you're an altcoin investor, then you're very unhappy, and that overall marks the sentiment of altcoins. So unless really Bitcoin goes to like 200, 300K, you're not going to see retail interest come in. And retail interest not coming in means ultimately there isn't going to be any sort of altcoin euphoria. So the conclusion we came to was that this cycle was a Bitcoin cycle, but in the next cycle, we will see Bitcoin dominance being topping much sooner, and altcoins seeing more provocation. And from a fundamental perspective, it makes sense. Like, you're getting all the legislative groundwork done in this cycle for altcoins. You're getting the ETFs for altcoins, and then in the next cycle, it would make sense if altcoins take a more spotlight on stage and Bitcoin is a little bit more shadowed. However, like, I'm sorry, because it's really not what we wanted. It's not what I wanted. Both me and Ben obviously want Bitcoin to now go parabolic and altcoins to also go parabolic, because we're Bitcoin YouTubers, we're crypto investors. We want everything to go up, but we also need to be sensible. And the markets usually do what nobody expects. And I think there was two things that nobody expected. One expectation was that, Bitcoin goes to like 300K and we see like insane altcoin season. That was one expectation. One expectation was that Bitcoin is going to like 150K and we see altcoin season. That was the most expected scenario. And then I would say another expected scenario was maybe Bitcoin goes to 200, 250K, and again we see altcoin season. But what nobody expected was that Bitcoin had already topped out at like 120 and we see no altcoin season. That was something that no one expected. Nobody wanted to expect it. And markets tend to do what nobody expects. So it makes sense from that point of view also. And what does this mean? Does this mean you should like sell everything? Does this mean that... No, I think personally right now it makes sense to be a Bitcoin holder, majority in the portfolio. And then when we see quantitative tightening end in December the 1st, that could mark a low for altcoins in relative to their Bitcoin pairs. And would that mean that you should now start allocating more money in altcoins, in December? Well, you'll find that out in the interview with Ben. He explained it very well. So in short, I'm majority Bitcoin and actually stable coins too. Altcoin holdings in my spot portfolio have reduced. Derivatives wise, I'm still bullish. If you're looking for a place to be trading Bitcoin and altcoins, links are down below to Weeks and also Pionex for their trading bots. But it just doesn't look good, sadly, and that's the truth. So we'll find out. We're here every single day. If it changes to the better, then amazing. We're the happiest out of everyone. But we can also fade what is in front of us, and that is the reality with monetary policy, and that's the reality with the current charts. So guys, take care, and I'll see you all on the next video, maybe with Ben tomorrow. So take care, stay tuned, subscribe, and bye-bye.